This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Only Friends podcast. This is episode number 84 on this glorious hump day.
84.
Every time I say the episode number.
I know every time I say the episode number, you're going to have the same response of every time I say the episode number.
Whenever I say, like, this is episode number 225, you're just going to be apathetic to it at that point.
No.
Well, you have to be.
Because every number is
a little
greater than the
a little
other
larger
one.
than the last.
But at a smaller percentage.
True.
It doesn't decrease,
So it's,
though.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
it's less significant every time.
it reminds me that we're working towards something.
So you hit the
here.
milestones, right? You hit the 250, the 500, the 1,000, the 10,000th episode.
Every
Imagine
day.
If we do 10,000 episodes,
How many
God
years is
help
that?
me.
Every day with you is a milestone, Brian.
God help us all. 10,000 is not feasible, right?
Oh, it's like 30 years or something like that.
40.
It's longer than I've
40.
been alive, yeah.
We did 250 a year.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking every single day.
Yeah.
Right.
365.
Which would be
we do it every
aggressive.
single day. 365, 10,000. Yeah, it's like 33 years.
We're here, 80-year-old men.
He'd
Fuck,
be like
man.
20.
I would be...
He'd be here 65 years old telling us how old
I'd be
we are.
55.
Imagine like 40 years from now, we're on the 40th anniversary of the Only Friends podcast. Landon's 63 years old,
We still don't have a sponsor.
just still memeing on us for being old.
Yep.
Well, you will be really fucking old, so
Really
it's
old,
gonna
right.
be warranted.
Yeah, so will you.
Not
It
as
would
old
be-
as you.
I'll age more gracefully.
Oh,
It would be
really?
aggressive.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna be the most shredded fucking 80-year-old you've ever seen.
Okay.
Just guns for days.
I'm Asian, so
Well,
Hell yeah.
yeah, but like,
so
yeah,
good luck
but,
with that.
But there's like a day where you just have it all catch up to you at once.
yeah, it won't be then.
No, it won't be 65.
I'll die before that happens.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, it'll be pretty rare if we all make it 35 years.
You think that you're gonna die at 30 for some reason?
No, I don't.
You-
I just know it's possible.
Sure.
It is possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
Got to be prepared for when that... It makes you realize, you know...
I mean, you don't
This
really need
is-
to be prepared.
No, you
You
just
just
die.
die.
You just
There's
die.
nothing
That's
you need
true.
to prepare
It's
for.
over.
Yeah.
Is that nihilistic, man?
Unless you have like a
No,
family
just
or
move on. It's
something. then
realistic.
probably-
Death should concern no one. Like, actually, you know, the physical
dying
act of
part is
being
fine.
dead just happens.
Yeah.
What you should be afraid of is dying. The process of dying
Yeah,
is
that's way worse.
True.
What do you
so
mean,
bad.
Slowly dying?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most people slowly die, barring an accident or
I'm
being
gonna
one of
die
the lucky
quickly.
ones who dies in their sleep.
Why do you think I eat so much meat? I just want to have a massive heart attack and then be done with it.
Oh, that's good.
Heart attacks don't kill people anymore, man. We're too medically advanced.
The big ones do.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
I've
Brian
got a
saved
big
up for
one,
the
bro.
big one. Yeah.
They sure do.
As long as I make it to like 80.
Can't you just say we're all slowly dying now?
We are, yeah.
Well, technically, yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's okay.
when you're actually dying, it's not good. All right. Let's talk about something else.
I actually have
More uplifting?
I don't have a more uplifting thought about this, but I do have a question. Like, why isn't there like a self-checkout? Like when you
There
get to a
should
certain
be.
age,
Well,
like
yeah, there's
Michigan,
I think
too.
Oregon. There's some states where, well, it's really silly that it's not allowed. I mean, when
Oh,
you're
is it?
like, yeah,
Well-
because do you understand that when someone's in hospice, they're just taking their food and water away until
Oh
they
yeah,
slowly
no, trust
shrivel
me.
out?
I was a caregiver for my
Someone
grandmother.
should
Like
be
the
able-
way that
Right.
they handle.
I think there should be stipulations, obviously. You shouldn't be able to just
If you're
walk into a place and be like,
terminally
all
ill,
right,
you
I'm having
shouldn't
a
have
bad
to-
day. I'm going to go in here.
Yeah.
But like if you consult with your doctor,
Right.
Multiple
Like if you're
Right,
if
of
you're
course.
terminally ill, and you shouldn't have
Right.
to ride that out.
yes,
Yes.
of course.
It's horrible.
Yeah, that.
Well, I don't think that's the debate. It's more so like what doctors
No,
are
it is
working.
the debate.
It is the
Well,
main
somewhat,
debate.
but it's legal in most states, or not most states, but some states, like
Most states
Oregon,
it's not.
Oregon,
No, most
Michigan,
it's
etc. But like what Dr. Kevorkian used to do was just like assisted suicide for pretty much anybody who wanted to die, right?
yes.
That's not the main argument, though, that it's for. Like, it's not just for like people who like are suicidal.
Yeah, no, I don't think. I
It's for,
think
like, people
Dr.
who are
Kevorkian was
sick.
more. I don't think he would just anybody, like if they came to his door, he would. I think it was.
Yeah, I don't
think he was
remember
doing
the
it for people
details.
that it was
Or people who
necessary
have
or-
like,
yeah.
let's say someone has like a condition that makes their life like extremely painful.
Right,
Like, you know, like they
exactly.
have like, they can't like move or without like excruciating pain or, you know,
Right.
shit like that where it's
Yeah.
just like,
What's the process like for it?
I think it's a lethal injection.
Yeah, same as death row.
I mean, it'd be so nice. You just they probably give you a ton of morphine. You just drift off.
So if you have 6 months left to live with a terminal illness, it seems that you are
Yeah.
qualify.
See, if I like found out that I had terminal cancer, I would for sure want to just end it on my terms.
I mean, that's such like a touchy line because now I've been in a situation where my mom was given 6 months to live when I was 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
And she lived until I was 26.
Yeah.
Right,
So it's
that's the
like
thing.
that.
Right, yeah, it's like you gotta trust the doctors are right. Maybe they're wrong.
Yeah,
they
and
got
then,
your papers
You
mixed
know,
up
it's like
with
we'll give you
someone
6
else.
months. Yep.
It's also a weird thing. I remember this happened in recent past, might have been a couple years ago. This girl was terminal and she had decided her death date and like had scheduled everything, like did her own funeral, like kind of like lived through it all, went through this whole process. And then when the day came, she changed her mind.
Oh.
She just had like cold feet. And I think that that's kind of the process, or a part of it too, is that like if you're terminal, it's kind of like you're fine until you're not. Like my grandmother went through this whenever she was terminal. I was a caregiver for like 3.5 months, and for the first 2.5, her life was a little bit more restricted. She struggled to like go to the bathroom, like standing up and sitting down was like difficult for her. She struggled to like get in the bath and you know, day-to-day things that she was, but otherwise she was of sound mind. She was still living, you know, a relatively reasonable life. You know, I think like she still felt alive, but then one day she was just like bedridden.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I feel like if you're in that position where you're terminal, your mind isn't going to allow you to like seek death, I don't think.
Right.
Prior at least to the
maybe
being
not.
bedridden part.
Maybe not.
Yeah. And this all started from being like, wow, episode
You never
number
know what
84.
you're gonna get on this show. I mean,
Yeah.
like, could you even imagine what we'd be talking about?
It's a good intro, you know?
Yeah.
Makes you
Great
realize that you're human.
Right.
Someone in the chat said, my doctor gave me 4 weeks to live, but it was not a diagnosis, it was a threat.
Face. That's good.
funny.
That's funny.
Oh man,
Yeah. Someone's got to make us laugh when we're all down sad.
I'm not down sad.
Oh, it's sad.
Doctor gave a guy 6 months to
Conversationally.
live. He couldn't pay his bills. Give him another 6 months.
That doesn't that sad.
That's not a dad joke. That's a rad joke.
That's a rad joke. That's right.
I've never seen a
Goodfellas
t-shirt more fitting for a human being than that exact shirt.
Yep.
Did you ever think you were going to grow into the dad joke guy?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. He
Yeah.
knew from
I feel
day
like,
one he was
yeah.
going to be a dad
I could
joke
see
guy.
him being like 8
Right.
years old and being a dad joke guy.
I mean, like dad joke guys, they're
They're
good
born
people.
that way.
They're good people.
Yeah, they're
Sure.
good people,
Right?
and they're born that way. Like it's in their blood.
Like, if you ever saw like a guy just telling dad jokes, you're never like, that guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
That never happens.
No, they're always like, yeah, I love
I
that
strive
guy.
to not be an asshole.
Yeah.
You are the embodiment of Pittsburgh dad.
Well, I came from Chico, so
Yeah, that's fair. Speaking of Pittsburgh, big day in Pirates history today.
Ay.
Two highlight and low light moments in Pirate history. So the first one, we'll get to the low light. This is the anniversary of Jerry Mills Says It's Safe. This was an ongoing hashtag. I think this is what, 2016? Or older?
2011.
2011. Jesus, man,
I
time
know.
flies. So this was right as the Pirates were turning a corner. I think this was right around when they drafted Kutch.
And Landon was being born.
Kutch had already been drafted, but I don't think he'd been called up yet.
Yeah,
But,
I think
they were just
13
starting
was his.
to.
I think
to,
13
like,
was his first full
put
season.
the team together.
Yeah, they were beginning to gel. They had the core in place, sort of like they do every third year or so.
Yeah, they had two
with the rebuilding process.
Good seasons that, like, good first halves of seasons that completely collapsed in the second half before they actually had a good year where they actually made the playoffs. This is one of them.
Yeah.
And this is what led to that collapse.
So this was a 19-inning battle against the Atlanta Braves.
Ground ball. Alvarez coming home, and it's not in time. He's called safe, and the Braves win the game. Clint Hurdle is going to come out and argue the throw beat the runner, and the Braves
This is
win
19
it.
innings. I think Jerry Mills just had enough. He was like, I'm tired. I want to go home. He's safe.
Unbelievable.
For what it's worth, Clutch was
Jerry
up playing.
Mills called him safe. The throw
Yeah, I
beat
think
him
this
by
was
a
not
mile.
2011.
It is what?
Clutch is playing and Pedro Alvarez is playing third.
How can
Clutch
you
started
He
on
called
in
him
2009.
safe.
How can
Oh,
you
wow.
end
You've
the
got
game?
to be kidding
He
me,
won
Jerry
Rookie of the Year.
Mills.
No, you're right,
That
man. It was
is
2011. Okay,
yeah.
so Pedro came up way younger than I thought. So yeah, this was the core that like started to make the playoff push. Kutch, Pedro, Marte probably came around that time. Polanco a couple years later. I think he was 2013. I'm guessing. But yeah, that was obviously one of the most egregious safe calls I've ever seen. I remember watching it live
Like this
in
can't be
real
real.
time,
This can't be real.
losing it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Same.
I couldn't
Losing my
even
mind.
imagine it.
I sat there and watched 19 innings of 7 hours of baseball, which I enjoyed. But like, for it to end like that,
Yeah.
and then
it
like
was the spiral effect from that
for
exact
sure.
call.
Like, if you don't think baseball is, there's a lot of psychology or whatever I'm thinking of, but like, it was crazy how like they just couldn't win after that. Their
Yeah.
minds were fucked.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
over.
That's how you know you're not destined to win. You just get.
Well, yeah, that's what we as Pirates fans all told ourselves as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's what they
right.
told
We're like,
themselves, too.
okay, finally we're putting something together. We got a decent team. Nope.
That must have been like right around the end of the Jason Bay era as well.
How do they
I
call
don't
this?
know.
He was-
It seems so long ago.
Yeah.
Like this isn't even close.
I mean,
This is egregious.
plate.
It's right in front of him. It's so egregious.
I mean,
the runner was like so shocked. He's like, "Wait, what? I won?" Oh, I
See,
scored?
okay, what if the runner? Okay, what if the runner told umpire, "I was out"? Do you think the game keeps going or no?
no,
It's
of
over?
course not.
Nah, he wanted to go home.
Yeah.
No, once he calls him safe, I don't think.
They
he's
didn't-
You're
gonna-
like, no,
they
you
don't-
got me.
I mean, I think that they might. Well, they would never reverse that call because it's clearly his call, and nobody else has a better vantage point than the guy literally standing over top of the plate. But
It sounds like someone else could have had a better
I do think
vantage
that they'll overturn calls that are like kind of in no man's land.
This was
a little
obviously
bit more often.
before reviewable plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
obviously,
But I'm saying like beyond
One of the-
replay, umpires have the capability to huddle up and like get a call
And get
right.
it right. Yeah, for sure.
But that would be done more so like with a balk call on the pitcher or something like that.
Yeah.
Something that's kind of like more no man's land.
right.
It's like the Gatorade commercial where like the kid like steps out of bounds and like they give the ball to the other team
Yeah.
and he's like, "I touched it, coach."
Yeah.
Like,
I
"All
was
right,
thinking
let's
of
play
that
ball.
commercial,
And one
yeah.
of the team's like, "What the fuck are you doing,
And
bro?"
it's like,
Like,
yeah, sportsmanship.
yeah.
Like nobody ever does that.
Yeah, sportsmanship second, winning
Somebody
first.
said Pittsburgh baseball talk is Sulfur-Wise instrument of choice to euthanize its audience.
Consider us the Dr.
That's one man's opinion.
Dr. Kevorkians of podcasting.
I mean, at least if you're going to talk sports, can you show me photos so I can tell you if they're
there's
hot
video.
or not?
No, there's no good video there. Yeah.
You know who is
Okay.
hot? Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not a baseball player, I know.
He is a good-looking man.
He is
looking for a new home.
hot. He's looking for a home?
Yeah.
Okay,
He
should
what?
we move
He's
him
looking
in?
for a home. 49ers are
Yeah,
shopping
they're
him out.
shopping him.
Maybe he can buy
in.
our house.
Yeah, there's a seat next to you. We can have him go on the podcast.
Me and him are taking Berkey's room, though.
The fuck you are.
He's buying it. He's my
Oh, if
husband.
he buys the house, you guys can have whatever you want. I'm out.
Oh.
Where are you gonna go?
Yeah, Jimmy G is really a better looking embodiment of Alex Smith. Like they're the exact
so
same
hot.
game
Like,
manager.
look
They're
at
the
his-
exact
Look at
same.
him.
They really are.
Throw for $167, 2 touchdowns and a pick.
Wow.
Like that's just gonna be your stat line.
That's an Alex Smith stat line.
Yeah,
if I've ever heard
100%
one.
game manager. We're just gonna keep it tight, man.
Yeah, but
Every
he
5
wins
yards.
like he wins like 80% of his games. which
Yeah,
is-
5 yards at a time. Here we go.
Figured it out. Alex Smith had it all fucking figured out.
Check
You
it
know
out.
that this is a weird thing. You know when Alex Smith went to the Redskins and had his leg shattered? It was on the same. It was on the anniversary of Joe Theismann having his leg shattered.
That's so crazy.
And there are like a ridiculous amount of things that line up. Like it was the same date, the same day. They were the same age. It was the same position that did it, like the same play. There were all of these universal similarities where it was just like there was a glitch in the sim, and we just fast forwarded 30 years, and the quarterback had it happen again.
Yeah.
Brutal.
History
weird.
repeats itself.
They were playing good, right? They were on like a playoff run that year.
I mean, for the Redskins, sure.
Yeah, I
or
think.
the what are they now? The Comanches? No, the
Commanders.
Having a tough time.
the comrades.
Yeah.
The chat is sounding off about hot or not poker players, and they're saying that they think Espen's hot.
I could see Espen being a very attractive man.
He'll be on tomorrow, you guys.
That's true.
Those of you who are.
We can judge him in person.
Yeah.
We can judge.
You
We'll
guys
let you
can
know
play
if he's
Smash
as
or
good
Pass.
looking in person as he is on TV, which I
You can play
suspect that he
He
is.
is. Yes.
Okay, I know that you're not into sports, but even you will be impressed by this play.
I don't think so, but
You
okay.
have to. It's remarkable. Jose
Hit
Guillen
high and deep to
throws
right.
a ball 400
Back goes
feet
Guillen,
on a
still
rope.
going back at the wall. It's off his glove. There goes Nafy around second, headed for third. Look at that throw from right.
On a fly.
What a
On a
throw
fly,
from
bro.
Guillen.
Guns him
From
out.
the warning track in the air to third base.
Now, to be fair, he did get hit in the head with the baseball, causing this entire play. But nevertheless, he almost overthrew it.
Roberto Clemente in
He
right
almost
field.
overthrew it.
No one more shocked than
I think I watched that one live too.
Oh,
Wow.
good?
Baseball.
These are impressive feats.
God.
That's probably the best throw in Pittsburgh history. And that was probably also the other.
I think
the best
Dave
call
Parker
in
had
I
one
think it's
similar.
like if you put her out in right field and gave her a baseball
Correct.
and just said throw this as far as you can,
And it just, like,
and then,
fell
and
right in
then
front
she
of her
watched
feet.
that,
Well, no,
she would
I know
have
I can't
perspective
throw-
of how amazing
I know,
it was.
Listen, I know that athletes do amazing things every day. It doesn't mean
Right.
I enjoy watching them.
I know. I'm just saying that it would give you more perspective. Of
She's not here. She's not here for the triple X Lux twist. She's
true.
here for the ice dancing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like ice dance.
I like.
It's not about the amazing
It's a triple
feats.
axle.
I like
Matt.
a
They
beautiful
do
show.
one
amazing
thing.
things too.
It's a triple.
Either a beautiful show or beautiful man buns.
Beautiful
Not man buns, hair. They're butts.
Oh, I thought you meant.
I don't like man buns in their
Can
hair.
you explain women's fascinations with guys' derriere?
I don't know, honestly.
Like, what do you
Biologically,
do you
it
bite
doesn't
it?
make much sense. No.
Yeah, you slap
Just
it
touch
like
it.
Just touch.
you just
Hold
touch
it.
Hold it.
because like
Like, what do you mean?
Firm
Like, I don't
butt.
well, we're attracted to women's
Well,
butts.
you know what? The glutes are the powerhouse of the body.
Right.
As the mitochondria,
Yeah.
the powerhouse
so
of the
if he
cell.
has a weak powerhouse,
Sure.
he's out.
Right.
okay.
I think it's just a physical. That's part of the physical body. Like if you like girls like other parts of their body too, like biceps or whatever.
Right,
So,
but
like,
but that's like
There
us
are-
liking
there are
boobs. There's
confused-
there's touching
well,
and fondling
yeah,
and
I mean, everyone
that
has
goes
their
there.
preference, but like arm veins and nice Brian's shaking his arm.
Brian's like, yo, where are my veins at?
Arm veins. I mean, a butt is whatever. It does. I could like do without it, but when a guy does have a nice butt and he's in some tight pants,
Sure.
not gonna
All the more
complain.
reason to watch
You're trying to get
baseball.
that finger wet.
Football, because they're meaty.
They're mean.
They're
Meaty.
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 They've got a lot of meat on those bones.
Some baseball players are. You've seen Daniel Vogelback?
Yeah, but they wear kind of normal pants,
No,
No, they were.
baseball pants are very tight.
Yeah.
not as tight as football.
Tight, football,
has-
yes, because football's like spandex, essentially.
Well, they're similar, but you're right. It has changed a little bit. Baseball uniforms, I
I'm
guess,
just here
have.
to objectify men, okay?
Yeah, I
That's it.
understand.
We're here for it.
It used to just be like baseball pants used to be the standard for if you want to see a guy in something tight, but the uniform has definitely become a lot more lax, where it's more baggy, I guess. Like I'm thinking back to like when Pedro was still in the league, Pedro Alvarez. Like he had what looked like sweatpants on.
Yeah.
He was a big guy though.
I guess it depends on the person.
Pedro Alvarez-
Sometimes they're baggy,
That was
sometimes.
your first baseman, right?
Mhm.
He got moved to first. He played
From
third to
third?
begin
Played
with.
third.
Okay.
Then he couldn't. He turned into Chuck Knobloch. Couldn't get the ball
Yo.
across the diamond.
Listen, don't you talk about Chucky Boy, all right? I remember vividly of him launching ones right over the fucking.
It was crazy, man.
He was the.
He went from an all-star second baseman to he literally could not make a throw.
I'm worried.
from second to first base.
I'm worried about O'Neal Cruz in that sense because he like he throws some bullets, but some are like a lot in the dirt. Yesterday, he threw one over the first baseman's head. I'm no joke. It was 20 feet over his head.
Sure. Well, when
Like,
you're throwing 99,
Literally into
it'll
the net.
sail on you. Yeah.
I mean, he's also like 7'4".
Like, obviously, it just got away from him. It probably slipped out of his hand as he was throwing it, but it was like 20 feet up.
There was
The first baseman just looked up like, what do I do?
who was the pitcher? Was it Trevor Hoffman? There was a pitcher recently, like within the last 10 years, that he could not make a throw to first base. He was an excellent pitcher. I can't remember if he was a starter or reliever, but they would run on him.
Played for the Cubs. Was on the Red Sox?
Pryor. It was. I think it was Mark Pryor.
No. Oh my God. Mine's blanking. He was on the Red Sox, and then he went to the.
Lester. That's right.
Lester, yeah,
Jon
Lester.
Lester. Yeah, you're right. It was a
Yeah,
lefty because he
yeah.
had no pickoff move. He
no
refused. They would just run on him.
Right.
Because he couldn't throw to first base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
He would like get balls hit back to him and run it over to the bag. It was the most like infantile thing you've ever seen in your life. We're talking about like this guy pitches professionally for a living.
He wants
Throws
100% accuracy.
Pitches professionally. This guy has made so
infinite
much
money. Infinite money. He's able to throw 60 feet 6 inches like on a rope with precision. But if you hit a ground ball back to him, he just loses his mind.
I never do that. He signed a 6-year, $155 million contract, and he can't
that was
throw
like
to
10
first
years
base.
ago.
I don't know. Was it that he couldn't throw to first at all, or was it just that like he had no pickoff move and he
No,
just
no, he,
wouldn't
like-
throw? I know he wouldn't keep a runner on.
He could like it wasn't that his pickoff move was bad. It was this. He would just sail the ball every attempt. Look at this.
Oh, that was fine.
Oh wait, that was a good one.
There you go. You got him picked off. See?
That was back when he was still a Red Sox, though. Here we go. They got him! They got him!
What?
Yeah, it was wild.
Oh my
It was,
God, that's amazing.
The human psyche is a fragile thing, man. I mean, honestly, like we don't really see it come to fruition in poker in such an obvious way, right? Because like throwing to first base as a pitcher is like so in your face and obvious, and like when you can't do it, when you throw a ground ball to the first baseman, it's just blatant. Like, okay, this guy is incompetent. We don't really see it because poker is so nuanced, right? But like, just imagine how many people are out there that understand theory really well, know exactly what the strategies are, and just cannot fucking execute.
Lose their mind. And
They just can't do it. Like, they black out mid-hand and find themselves just like 3-betting a hand that they would just never in a million years play. Mm-hmm. And now they're on the turn, and the pot's just big, and they're like, well, I guess I have threes, so I run it.
No one runs it, man. No one
Computer runs
it.
threes, man.
Yeah, but these people aren't the computer. These people clearly make mistakes that the computer
I'm
wouldn't
having
make.
a completely different conversation right now in our chat.
How's that going?
It's great. We're talking about hot poker players and who the chat guys think the hottest. They all have like male crushes on the poker players.
Interesting. Who's the leading candidate?
Kessler.
Kessler's been mentioned a few times.
Why is that funny?
What?
Because Kessler looks like a down bad Larry David.
Larry David.
He looks like Larry David if he had no humor or swag.
Well, they have the same hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
What's
they
with
also
that?
both look like Larry from the Three Stooges.
Oh. I always wondered, you know,
You
it's,
get a Three Stooge reference? I'm a little surprised.
I mean, I know what the Three Stooges are.
Okay. That's like 1940s, 50s maybe.
Yeah, when I was younger, we used to watch a lot of old TV late at night.
Culture.
My mom was on sleeping pills.
Culture.
It's good times, you know.
Yeah, great times. So who's the actual hot one?
So, well, you know who mine is.
I think they're all memeing. I see Sean Deeb.
I know,
I see Mike
everyone's
Postle.
memeing.
No,
Jungle
J.
Man
Kuhn.
got a couple.
He's a good looking guy. Jeremy Osmus, he make it?
Oh, he didn't. I actually didn't see him mentioned.
I mean,
I'm surprised.
Jeremy Osmus is definitely a daddy.
He is a daddy.
Maybe he's
I'm
a
surprised
zaddy.
Antonius
Daddy
wasn't
or
mentioned
zaddy?
because it seems like a lot of men like are sexually attracted to Antonius.
No, we just recognize a
Wait,
good-looking man
or
when
you
we
want
see
to be
one.
him or something.
No, he's objectively
you just
attractive.
recognize objective
Oh,
attractiveness.
so you want to be him?
No.
But that's the same thing with Espen, right? He's
Yeah, you can just
objectively
acknowledge that somebody is objectively attractive.
fact.
I mean, he looks like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Of course, he's
He
attractive.
does look like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
JCVD.
In his heyday,
Oh, G-Man, he's definitely a favorite amongst men.
he has good hair.
Well, there's just certain men that like other men really think are so hot.
Not hot. I don't.
What do you? Okay, whatever.
Well,
Right.
it's different
No,
because
but you
like,
say they're hot, that means you're like you're
It
sexually
applies
attract-
sexual.
sexually
Okay,
attracted to.
okay, so
Yeah.
they're handsome.
Yeah,
Yes.
handsome.
Yeah.
They're
That's
just
a good-
objectively attractive.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think that I've talked about this before, but I think that there's certain men that more men find it, not that G-Man is this, but that more men find attractive than women. Matthew McConaughey is
interesting.
one of them, I think. Men are
I have to
so drooling over
I
McConaughey.
think that you are
I don't
in
know.
the minority on this one. I think Matthew McConaughey is crushing the puss. Like
I'm sure he is. He's Matthew McConaughey, but
I'm just saying, like,
when you ask, okay, I would like to find a way
You
to
gonna make a
like
poll?
accurately,
You're gonna make a survey?
find a.
I
but there's
think
gonna be
the average
sampling bias,
woman
but
would include Matthew McConaughey on
in
a
their
short
top
list.
3.
No, but like on a short list, like top 20.
Okay, I
That
mean,
doesn't do it
20
for you right
is
there?
so many. I can't even think of 20 people.
Oh, come
Melissa.
on.
I mean,
Doesn't do it
before or
for you?
after he starts speaking, because
You
if it's after, it's
know,
automatic W.
It's just, I don't know. It's like
Rom-com Matthew McConaughey was like the peak.
he's just not my
Dreamy.
cup of tea.
Well,
maybe.
what I've realized is some people are or are not going to like certain people that are objectively attractive, right?
A woman said Nick
Like you could say,
Nick.
Schulman.
yeah, like you
there's
could
so
say
many
that someone
Nicks.
is objectively attractive, right? But you don't be like, oh, like that, they're not my type.
Shulman has swag.
I know he really does. When he walks, it looks like if you took a video of him walking and you cut the bottom part off, it would look like he was just floating.
I can see that.
He is so
He does a really
smooth.
great job with his length and height. Like, I think it's easy for a lot of people with his sort of like build to be
Yeah.
lanky and awkward.
Yeah.
And he's precisely the opposite.
No, he's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very good
He's
way of
very
describing
cool.
it.
Yeah,
lot
he's
of
a
cool
handsome
points.
man.
What's that?
He's a handsome man.
Yeah. He's got a lot of I said this before, I think. He has the what's his face dating Kardashian.
Oh, Pete Davidson.
Wow.
Yeah. Not looks wise.
No,
he just
Pete
has like Pete
Davidson's way
Davidson's.
uglier.
He has like swag
But
like
he
him.
has the swag, yeah.
Yeah.
My mom gave
It's
a
New York. I
suggestion.
think it's
Go
a
on.
New York thing.
Ian Somerhalder
Who the
from Vampire Diaries.
fuck is that?
Bob can pull up a clip. He's an objectively good-looking guy.
You think he knows how to spell his last name?
100%. Somerhalder. He's got it. There he is. Damon from Vampire Diaries.
Okay, yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, he looks like he might like cut out my organs when
Yeah,
I'm
he
asleep,
looks-
but like
he's a
he
bad
is,
boy.
you know.
Yeah.
I like his eyes.
You've been watching way too much goddamn
He's a
Bravo,
bad
man.
boy.
So Ian, if you're watching, my mom is interested.
Way too much Bravo. You're literally turning into that Andy Cohen dude who hosts all the
Oh,
fucking
I
shows.
love Andy Cohen. He's the man.
No, I
That's
think
bad boy Brian LaManna right
the
there.
ideal male physique is Bradley Cooper in American Sniper.
Ew, he's fat.
He's not fat.
He's cloudy.
He's cloudy.
He looks fat to me.
Guapo,
He was a
can
little
you
thick.
find
He was
that?
a thick man.
Can you find
He
Bradley
looks like a
Cooper
guy
in
who's
American
been, like,
Sniper?
Pull up the graphic.
He looks like you know what he looks like? He looks like the guy who
He's beefy Bradley.
he looks like the guy who did everything he had to do to get through basic training and then just quit. And then just quit. It was like, all right, the hard part's behind me. Give me my beer, give me my cigarettes.
Look at that. Look at his.
It is very wild.
Look at the one of him standing with like walking. Look at his pecs. There's like a shelf.
Like a shelf.
It is very insane how like
He
these
is
actors go
hot.
through like all these transformations with like their body.
He
I
looks
know.
like he belongs on In Fisherman.
So hot. Like he's like that's.
He genuinely
so
looks
hot.
like he could host a hunting and fishing show on the
Yeah.
That's-
weekend.
is he
Yeah, he
daddy or
could.
zaddy?
He's both. He can do whatever he wants.
It's like when Christian Bale was like in The Machinist and then also Batman.
That was wild.
Like the transformation that he went
That
through.
transformation was
It was like
absolutely
160
insane.
pounds, right? 150 or whatever.
Way less.
130?
Had to be.
Well, how tall is he?
It's tough to say because he's an actor, but I would guess somewhere in the
like
6 foot to 6'1" range.
Yeah.
I think there's certain actors who are like really good at doing all that stuff. Body transformation.
Yeah,
like
it's
Jared
just
Leto, I feel
so,
like.
Yeah. It's just like so crazy
He's
unhealthy.
6 feet.
It's insane.
Joaquin Phoenix did a lot of those too.
Yeah.
But like he seems like he's just aged so much. It has to be a byproduct of just like putting his body through torture and
Yeah.
you know, probably the drugs and everything else.
but
that comes
Ryan
with being-
Gosling, Bradley Cooper, they've both kind of.
But
Yeah.
are they bad boys?
They're my favorites.
Are they
my
bad
two
boys,
favorites.
Melissa?
They're not bad boys. They're medium boys.
They're medium.
They're not
boys.
like.
Gosling's pretty boy.
Yeah, but he is like a fuck boy, pretty boy.
Yeah,
You
that's
can tell
fair.
he's a fuck boy. But
sure.
like Bradley, like Gosling is like fuck. Bradley's Mary.
For what it's worth, he did one of the funniest Saturday Night Live skits. He's a part of one of the funniest Saturday Night Live skits I think that I've ever seen.
Gosling?
Yeah. It became a reoccurring skit that just ended this season because did Kate McKinnon leave? I think Kate McKinnon left. But I won't do the skit justice, so I'll just describe it. But basically,
Please
it's these three people who encountered an alien. Here it is. They had this alien encounter. And so the two on the right, Gosling
He's
and
so cute.
I can't remember her name, but they were like a couple and they described their experience. It was super pleasant and whatnot. And Kate McKinnon is giving her reenactment. And she's basically just talking about how like she was poked and prodded and, you know, cast aside because she's disgusting, whatever. It's a great bit. It originated with Gosling. And he was so good in it. But I also think he was good because of the same reason why I think Jimmy Fallon was funny on Saturday Night Live.
Oh God, so he wasn't good, basically.
Yeah,
He
was
just
not
could
funny.
not hold it in.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
yeah,
he
I
just-
think that's funny.
He broke the fourth wall 20 times throughout
Yeah.
the skit. He's just like, you know, stumbling through his line. And he's a professional actor. So it's like, to me,
Where's Ryan when we need him?
those parts are funny.
Who are your
Need Ryan here
guys'
to
Who are
critique
your
this.
number one celebrity crushes?
I'm 40. I don't have a
What do you mean
celebrity
you're
crush
40? You don't have one. Every time you walk in the living room,
My-
oh, she's hot.
Yeah, I just see people and I say they're hot. I don't think
Yeah,
about
I agree
them
with Berkey.
past that point.
Like when I was like 15 or 20.
Okay, who was
yeah,
your childhood one then?
Britney
Yeah, like
Spears.
Melissa.
Britney
People our
Spears.
age have celebrity crushes. People
Right.
their age
Right.
are just
Give up on life.
decrepit and dying.
Mine
yeah.
are still the same from when I was a teenager, so I don't really look anymore
I
either.
was I wanted to marry Katie Holmes more than anything else on
Really?
earth. Yeah.
And then Tom Cruise got her.
Ruined her.
Yeah.
Ruined her.
Really
he,
did.
He had
Brought
her
her into the
indoctrinated
cult.
to fucking Scientology. She lost her mind for
Yeah.
a short period of time. She's such
For
a
a
good
hot
girl.
minute.
She was from Toledo, Ohio. Those Midwestern roots.
So
you know,
is Tom
very-
Cruise a bad boy?
No, he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
But if not her, then Nicole
Oh, the Pussycat Dolls lady.
Schresinger. Yeah, I'm having a
Dolls.
Conrad moment.
Scherzinger?
Scherzinger.
Those are,
Yes, thank you.
those are two very different.
That's
Honestly,
types
that's
of
a Pussycat
ladies.
Girls.
Surprisingly enough,
Pussycat
both
Dolls
Ohio
singer.
girls.
Really?
Yeah, she's from I think
Maybe you should
Columbus.
go to the great state to find.
I fucking hate Ohio.
Yeah, me too.
the great
Ohio.
state to find.
Me too.
Wow, it's like Romeo and Juliet, but it's the Browns and Steelers.
Yeah, right,
You gotta
exactly.
You gotta find your Ohio shouty.
Yeah. Nicole Scherzinger is.
Yeah.
That's
fly.
Pussycat Dolls.
Pussycat
Yes.
Dolls lady. Yeah.
Yeah, she's.
Yeah, those are
something
pretty
else.
different types, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nina Dobrev for me, 100%.
Who?
Nina Dobrev,
Who
who's
that?
that?
actress,
In what?
bunch of different stuff.
Nina.
Also Vampire Diaries. I'm joking. I love the Vampire Diaries.
Okay.
Apparently.
Yeah. I watch some good TV, Brian. You know, I know about the bad boys.
Oh, somebody said Anna Kendrick. As an adult, she's very high up there on my
Really?
social list.
Cup song.
Yeah.
See, my woman one would be Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie's
She's up there.
beautiful.
Oh, she's so pretty.
Olivia Wilde too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Prettiest eyes I think I've ever seen on a
Yeah.
human being, and I'm not like one to
I
care
feel like
about
fan
eyes.
favorites for men are like Emma Watson, Olivia Wilde.
Emma Watson doesn't really do it for me.
There's so many men who are obsessed with her.
She's hot, but like, meh.
There's a lot of pretty people out there, man. A
Yeah,
lot of pretty people.
Britney Spears,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
like, Hit Me Baby One More Time, Britney.
Yeah, because we were like the same age, so it was always.
I
Like,
feel like the Britney Spears window
I
is
wanted-
very
I-
narrow.
I think like Britney Spears, like a little bit after that. So like when we were like 20.
Oh, when she had the snake.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
peak Britney.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I know I've always been a contrarian. When everybody was obsessing over Britney Spears,
You liked
Christina
Christina.
Aguilera?
loved Christina
Yeah.
Aguilera. Just
course.
loved her.
course.
She was so hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also spent some time in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went to high
She
school
was
there.
hot.
Wait,
She still is
I
hot.
thought Christina Aguilera was definitely hotter than
She is still hot.
See, that's what I'm saying.
100%.
When I remember when
Always.
Genie in a Bottle came out, I think I was like 6.
She was also more talented.
And I was like,
let's be clear.
I can
was
imagine
in
a
the
6-year-old
computer room
Melissa,
and I'm
yeah.
like singing Genie in a Bottle, and I'm like, you gotta rub me. and my dad was like, don't say that.
Stop.
I'm like doing the Genie dance. I was like the little sister in Mean Girls who's like looking at the TV of the Girls Gone Wild and is like, woo.
Yeah.
Your poor father.
I know.
That's the same laugh you have when you had Matt's Twitter.
No, she turned into Beavis and Butthead. It started as a normal laugh and then turned maniacal.
What
She's
happened?
like,
I don't know what happened. I think I kept thinking about it. It was like lingering in my head, and I just
It became increasingly funnier.
yeah.
to her.
And to me.
It was
Not to
funny.
me.
And to everyone else involved.
Speaking of DePaulo, shout out to Ryan in the chat. He said Mandy Moore. I think that's a good
That's a good
choice as
one.
well.
You said J-Lo.
Oh,
J-Lo is nice.
hasn't
J-Lo's still
aged.
nice.
She looks so good.
She really does.
It's incredible. She
She's
might,
crazy,
She
though.
might have aged better than anyone I've ever seen.
I'm trying to think of somebody else off the top of my head, but
Christy
yeah.
Brinkley was like 52 and looked like 20, but
There are a couple 50-somethings right now that are just like,
Cindy Crawford
yeah.
was
Yeah.
aged pretty well, yeah.
Yeah, she's up there. Shout out to Nova Poker Player, gave us a super chat. He said this is in honor of Ryan DePaulo. Donated $6.66.
Yep.
That joke will never leave you, Ryan.
Nope.
You've earned it. Speaking of young talent, this week on Hustler is Rampage week. I assumed the worst for the young man. Monday started off rough. Yesterday, or today's Wednesday, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Today is
Monday, he was buried. There was a screenshot going through our chat where he had trips, and the caption was just, "What if I told you Rampage folded this on the river to third pot?"
He had trips and a flush draw.
And yes, and a flush draw.
oh.
So he was down bad pretty much most of Monday, but seemed to have made a big comeback off stream, won like 40K, which is good for him. And then yesterday he was big dicking it, sat with 100K again. We're like, oh no.
Did he not learn his lesson?
He hasn't learned his lesson. He's going to get after
Well, it
it.
was weird
Rampage is
because at
number
first
one?
the title said 50K.
I don't know.
And then I looked again and
But
it was
it's gotta
100K.
be up
And I was
there.
like,
Probably because he had to like put more money in.
yeah.
Well, you
Here's
guys
the
realize
all-in.
who wasn't there, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's very easy. You know, life's a lot easier
You also had the nuts.
when Garrett is not there.
He did make the nuts against Big Nick Vertucci.
This is when poker is hard.
wait, you
Person
called
to,
him, what did you just call him?
Big Nick
Oh.
Vertucci.
Now you're getting even a better price.
What?
Broke, you know?
He said big. I thought you called him Big Dick Vertucci. I was like, how do you know that?
Same hand, ace king,
No.
ace 10, or somehow. Oh, I won 70 on
I like
Saturday.
Ethan's aesthetic
I mean, I guess I
here
could
in
just
this
give it all
that he
back.
brought to
The only
Hustler.
thing
He's
I
got like the
just can't-
Wailua hat.
Can't put you on a hand,
Got the-
man. Okay, you got it.
I like it.
Wow.
What is it?
How lucky is he for
got
Nick
the-
to have
he's got the arm
top
jewelry.
fucking range here with Ace King?
That's so sick.
I know.
It's difficult to win 125K pot off Nitucci.
To the young
Yeah, I didn't even
superstar poker player and vlogger Rampage.
Wow, did you just rack out?
Yeah, he's done.
You just set him packing?
Yeah.
This is the biggest winner in
Hours.
Hustler live stream history.
Oh, he's out.
It was one buy and he's gone.
See ya.
What happened? What happened? Hit the showers.
fall from
Try again
grace.
tomorrow. But yeah, big week for Rampage. 2 for 2.
It's not over.
He's up near 100K now.
The show goes on.
The show goes on. Today, I believe they're playing. Is today the ante game? No, that's yesterday.
Yesterday
not sure what
Yesterday was the anti game. Yesterday was the 5.
Today might be 2550.
Somebody said he took $100 off his stack to pay the masseuse before calling.
It was more than 100. I saw that.
Oh my god.
It was like 400 or 500.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta make sure your staff is taken care of before. Well, the good news is, Rampage therefore paid for the massage at least. You know, you got that
You
going.
got a free massage from
Yeah.
Rampage.
Get your free tea and biscuits where you can. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Sticking with poker, yesterday was the day for Pads to get engagement. He said, you win the WSOP main event for $10 million and you have 56% of yourself. How much do you tip? 2.025% of the prize pool was withheld for staff, which is $1.75 million. Outside of the rake, which was another $4.1 million, give or take. Would you leave 10%, 5%, 3%, 1%, 0%?
Yeah.
What are your opinions on tipping in general for MTTs, but more specifically for massive prize pools like the WSOP main?
I started tipping like, I don't know, a couple $100 like in smaller tournaments, I guess. And when I started realizing what rake and stuff like that is, like that they withhold money for this, I haven't tipped since. Like I think I gave $500 on when I got fourth in the.
I have never won enough in a live tournament to ever consider tipping.
Yeah. When you win the main next year, you'll let us know.
I will tip 0% if I win
same.
the main.
I think market 0. I think it's 0. Sure, obviously it's different situationally. I think like if you're someone that's playing recreationally and like you have a bunch of money and like you're playing for fun and like you want to leave something, sure, like by all means.
I would find my favorite dealers and tip them personally, but I wouldn't just like leave them like a one ball of $100K.
Yeah.
Well, here's another. So most of the responses said like they wouldn't tip. Deeb says he leaves 1% on big wins at the WSOP, which I think is like absurdly generous.
Yeah, it's very generous.
The real way to frame this is if you go to a large dinner and gratuity is included, do you leave extra?
No, because it's included.
I do.
Sometimes.
I normally
Unless
do.
they're like sick.
Okay.
Not like sick as in
No,
like
sick
I understand.
terminally,
good
but
sick, yeah.
If
they sneeze on you. More
you
money.
knew that the tips were pooled amongst the entire staff, would
I
you
would
leave
not.
extra?
That would
not.
be
No.
less incentive for sure.
I give more money because it's better service and it's to that person. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's my take on this.
Okay.
I wouldn't leave any. I'd never tip on MTTs. I haven't tipped on MTTs since like 2005 when I started to do the math and learn better. I think that if the staff is not being cared for enough, then that's on the venue to charge a higher percentage. And then us as a community to decide if that percentage is fair or not. Now, I think that there's a counter argument there that could very easily say like, well, I don't want a governing body telling me how much to tip. I would prefer that they don't take anything and then leave it to the individual to decide. But on events as large as the main event, I don't think you can leave it down to the individual level. It's better.
Yeah.
It's the same as like serving a party of 20 at a restaurant.
Yeah.
You have to include the gratuity.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like one person stiffing is just going to ruin the entire thing. So since it's already prefixed and already taken out, I think it's ludicrous to leave any more.
Yeah.
But the real reason why I wouldn't leave more is due to the effectiveness of it all. So let's say that you leave 1%, $100,000, right? So it's not about like when you say 1%, that seems small. But when you say $100,000, you know practically that that's a large sum of money.
It's like 2 years salary.
Right. Whether you are worth $10 million, $1 million, or $100,000, $100K will always be a meaningful and substantial amount of money.
Yeah.
$100,000 can be utilized in a myriad of ways.
It's a windfall.
It could be a windfall for
windfall.
certain people. But $100,000 can be used in a myriad of ways to grow wealth. Regardless of what your current wealth actually is. So
Right.
it's a substantial amount of money. Now, my issue is there's probably about 1,000 members of the staff that this tip will be trickled down to. So if I take $100,000 of my wealth and now give it as a tip or gratuity to the staff that served me over the entire summer, I've now increased each of their individual bottom lines by $100. An insignificant amount of money that will change almost no one's life.
Not a windfall.
And I know it's not a windfall, right? It's an amount of money that could be a windfall to an individual, diluted down now to an inconsequential amount of money, right? And my issue with that is
You'd be better off putting on a 100K free roll for all of them.
Exactly. It would just be way better to like put on a 100K free roll that pays 10 spots and let the staff play.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool.
And then we film Final Table at the Software Y office.
Yeah. But again, like that's obviously neither here nor there.
The main first.
Yeah, but it's also just like I don't want to turn this into an irrational argument of like what the $100,000 should be utilized for.
Yeah.
It's more so trying to keep it within the framework of rationally $100 isn't going to impact very many, if anybody, right? And that's not to say that the staff isn't deserving of more money. That's not to say that they aren't underpaid or anything of that sort. It's more so to say that it's not my responsibility as the main event winner.
Yeah.
And it's not the second place person's responsibility. Because now, obviously, if everybody who final tables gives 1%, now each person might be walking away with somewhere in the neighborhood of like $600. And that is meaningful and that is substantial. But this is ridiculous now because if everybody at the final table left 1%, now we're talking about somewhere in the neighborhood of 10% of the prize pool being tipped, right? Which would be that's too much. I'm trying to think like how much of the prize pool makes it to the final table. I think it's like 10% of the overall no, more than that, right?
10 million.
Maybe somewhere between 2.5% and 5%, probably.
It's probably somewhere between like 5% of the prize pool being tipped.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a lot, and it's not up to the person individually.
Well, it's a lot, and it's also now equal to or greater than the actual rate that's already been taken.
Yeah.
So you're just being taxed twice, and then on top of that, you're being taxed a third time by the government.
Yeah.
So it's just like you don't want to take these massive, once-in-a-lifetime opportunities and continually dilute yourself down because you have a bleeding heart.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's like a pretty ridiculous take to put the onus on the players to somehow tax themselves even further.
Like, I don't think anybody should be obligated to do anything, but if you want to do something, like, that's on you, and, like, that's great.
Also, like, people have different percentage of themselves. They have makeup. They have all these different things. So it's like, if you have 20% of yourself and you win the main event, and then you tip 10%, or you tip 1% of the
you tip
total
it from your
win.
side,
now you're tipping for all the people, like, without their permission, essentially. Or you're going to tip directly from your own cut, then it's like even way more.
Yeah.
So
or way less if you're just doing your piece.
But like there's also people who have makeup.
I just don't see
who
this
have like
the same.
a normal, maybe it's not the main event, but maybe they have a $50,000 score and they literally get $0 from it because they're in makeup.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't tip out, and I don't think your backer is going to want you to tip out either, right? Because that money's going directly to them, which is not profit either.
So I do think that there's something to touch on here because I'm seeing the comments are saying like it's bad for Berkey to discourage tipping as a whole. It's not.
Right.
I disagree.
It's not.
I disagree. I think that this should be we should be normalizing not tipping.
Yeah.
This is not a tipping endeavor.
Yeah.
Right.
This isn't you going to get your car washed by some kid and then giving him an extra few bucks. This is not you going out to a restaurant
like a
where
service
they're
industry.
working strictly for tips.
Yeah.
Right.
People who deal with the WSOP are not working for tips. They're paid an hourly. They're paid by the down, right? This is not a tipping gig.
Yeah.
Right.
The WSOP is potentially offloading some of their costs onto the player by insinuating that you should tip.
It's like a sneaky way of taking more out of the prize pool than they already are.
Right.
Yeah.
So by not normalizing the non-tipping, what ends up happening is a lot of the recreationals who are already taking a bath to begin with are now actually having some level of recouping of their losses, and they're being taxed on it.
Yeah.
Right. They're being socially taxed in a way that is unnecessary.
It's funny because like you take this stance, which I also like wholeheartedly agree with, when it comes to like service industry jobs or things other of that nature that's like not just call it the poker industry. Like we tip very well.
I'm not nitty when it comes to tipping
Of course.
at all. I'm like minimum.
Like even when it comes to like cash games or whatever, like it's still like
I can get bad service in a restaurant, and I'm still like a 20,
Yeah.
25%
My
guy.
girlfriend hates me because I love tipping so much. Like we play poker for a living. Money like moves, and it's just like 20-25% is great. Like it just always should be that, and maybe sometimes extra when it's good service.
yeah. It's just different when it's a service industry thing versus like a poker thing.
Right. Honestly,
you're getting fleeced so hard on rake and other things.
I don't even take pride in the fact that I overtip. Like, if anything, I think it's a personal leak of mine. But it's just something that has been ingrained in me throughout the years, right?
Same.
It's like, as I accrued wealth, my tip went from $1 per hand to $5 per hand. And like, that just becomes what I do type of thing. And I don't think it's necessarily even good. I wouldn't promote it to other people, and I wouldn't look down on other people who don't do it, right? It's just, I recognize that I'm in a position to give back to those who are a little bit more in need, right? And you develop relationships, especially when you're playing in the same casino for years on end, and you get to know the staff or whatever. It's like you want to take care of them. You want to give out 100 to everybody that you see during the holidays, and like make sure that like it's your little bit. It's your little way of being able to give back. That's not this.
No, it's not. It's a lot of virtue signaling and stuff going on. It's like, oh, like you're gonna tip 0 when you win $10 million. Like that's not how it works.
It's like
That's not
because
how it fucking works.
they've already taken $4.5 million off of this prize pool.
Yeah.
And if the staff needs to get paid more, then WSOP should be doing it, and we
Be transparent about it too.
Yes, and also like the more people tip over years, the less WSOP is going to pay, because it's going to average out people's salary to a decent amount.
Right.
So if the money's going to come from somewhere, because they need to run the venue, they need to run this. So dealers need to be there. So it's just like, maybe last year was bad, people didn't tip, and now guess what? It's up.
They increased the wages.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if like WSOP is privy to all of this, we're not.
Yeah.
So if every time people went through the cash out and they said, do you want to leave a little bit extra? And the yeses equated to, let's say, an extra $1 million that got spread out, right? Now, all of a sudden, that's an extra $1,000 per person. That's great for them. That's like a bonus, but it came out of the community's pockets, right? So now that's an extra quote-unquote million in rake that was potentially paid mostly by amateurs who don't understand it's normal not to tip, right? Because to them, they still feel the social pressure. It hasn't been normalized yet. And that's a big deal for a lot of reasons. Number one, it lets WSOP off the hook if they want to, if they basically say like, with that million, that's the correct amount that you guys got. Therefore, we're not going to meet the standards necessary to ensure that you get this every year.
Yeah.
We're going to trust the community to pay extra. And then number two, it drives people to going broke faster, right? Even if it's just a little bit, it's the people that are already losing that are tipping the most. Yeah. Right. So if they're not bringing in extra income, like it's a net negative for the WSOP long term as well, because you're losing customers based off of their generosity, that they're basically being preyed upon the same way that you are whenever you go to the grocery store during the holidays. There's a million different things that they expect you to give to at the register. Right. And it's like, it doesn't matter if you went to that same store 5 days in a row, you're asked 5 times in a row. Mm-hmm. So there's no reward for your generosity. There's no recognition of it. It's just a take type of economy.
And it's just like a number like added onto a paycheck. Like they don't even like realize that it's extra for tip probably.
Correct.
They're probably just a number that WSOP should be making look like.
The last day I was there, I was cashing out at the window, and one of the cashiers, who I assume was like the overseer of the whole thing. I don't know if like you would consider it a manager or whatever, but like the people that they call like when they say double, like to check a payout, like it was her. She was memeing about how, I don't know if she was memeing, she might have been serious, but like she was basically talking about how she was like charming people and persuading people into leaving more whenever she was cashing them out. Like she's like, yeah, like I had a talk with him and like we got him up from 100 to 600, like to leaving tips and stuff. And it's just like,
I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that it's even an option.
Down bad.
Right? Like I don't even like that they ask me whenever I'm cashing out, do you want to leave something extra?
I start turning my head. I'm like, no.
Right? Like, I don't want to feel
kind
right.
of bad a little bit.
I feel horrible.
It makes
I
you
don't want to feel
a little-
social pressure to say no,
I
especially
love
when it's
tipping,
like
man.
the person asking me is getting paid an hourly. That's probably a lot closer to minimum wage than not.
Right.
While they're handing me a 6-figure cash out,
Right.
not understing that I lost 6 figures this summer.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? There's such a massive disconnect here
Yeah,
between.
it's always individual events.
Yeah, there's a massive disconnect here between the civilian and the player.
Right.
And all they see is the digit on the screen and assume that like we're incredibly wealthy. I forget who we were talking to the other day. It might have been like when Bridget and Renal were here, where I think Bridget said like, well, poker players are really wealthy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like the 1% of 1% have some wealth.
Yeah,
But we are not wealthy in the grand scheme of wealth.
No.
No.
We're bottom of the barrel, and our ceiling is relatively low.
Poker's fucking small, man. Poker's so small, but it's a good thing.
Well, the poker in general ceiling is high, but the most like 99.9% of people will never be even close to that ceiling. But
Right.
they think that like the dream is there.
That's what I'm saying in the grand scheme of wealth. When we start to reach a certain level, call it call the bare minimum like having $1 million, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like the best of our best start to breach that.
Yeah.
And we're in like the bottom 10% of what all wealth is.
And then you look at crypto and there's like 16-year-olds
You
with
look
like
at
200
business,
million.
like venture
It's just like-
capitalism.
Oh.
There's just a bunch of more money elsewhere.
Yeah, there's really no path to 100 million in poker.
No.
You know where I do think I probably would tip more in an MTT situation though. Like we're talking like big venues, but I'm thinking like there's a lot of like small places in Texas, like where you know every dealer, you
think
come
it's
there
different.
every
I think when
day.
you can give individual tips to staff.
Yeah. Right.
So this happened. I have tipped since 2005. When I final tabled the Super High Roller Bowl, I individually tipped the ARIA staff. That I basically said like, thanks for running the event. You guys did a great job, and I left them a meaningful tip, but a small tip relative to my score.
Yeah.
So it might have been like a total of $5,000 that I tipped out, but it was like $500 amongst 10 people. The dealers that work the event, the floor staff, whatever the case may be. It's the same as like when I was playing in the big game in Ivy's room. Every time the holidays would come around, like Christmas or whatever, instead of giving a nickel per hand that I won or contributing to the collective tip that we give to the dealer when they sit or whatever, it was every dealer that came in the box got 100. Right? And it's like, this is the thank you for doing a good job all year. Here's your holiday bonus kind of thing. But again, it's like we're the patron or the patrons in this particular instance. We're not we're not owners. We're not the bosses. We're not the upper management.
Yeah, I think when it comes to cash games, it's a little different.
No, of course. Like I'm saying, we should be generous.
Of course.
But I'm saying like the expectation, which I'm sure for a lot of these dealers, they look forward to holiday tips and stuff like that. Like the expectation is that their hourly will generally be higher and stuff like that. And that kind of sucks, man, because it's like the same is true of a lot of the players grinding. Right? Like their expectation is that their hourly is going to be a little bit higher during the holidays so that they can do something nice for their family or be a little bit more generous in their inner circle or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I think the outliers in like that type of situation come from like more of the fun recreational that just wants to come play. It's the holiday time, and they tip very well.
Maybe. I think it's probably hit or miss. I think there are probably some that don't even consider the fact that it's the holidays. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're saying like it's less so on the grinder.
Yes.
The grinder just sticks to it.
I think the grinder just gives like, maybe whatever, a little something, but like they give their normal tip amount every single time, and it's great. It's great.
How
for
much do you think
the
got
dealer.
tipped overall, like in a numbers figure, this WSOP, if you were to guess?
If I had to guess, I think like $1 million is probably, because I'm sure that there are some outliers from like the main event that left big numbers. But yeah, I think like $1 million is probably about right.
Like,
That's a fucking lot,
Like
dude.
the guy that got 6th or 5th, like there's a couple people at that final table that definitely left a lot of money. There's no doubt in my mind. Like,
Yeah, I might be way lowballing it.
yeah, I think
But
We'll never get those numbers, of course.
grand total over the course of the summer, it was probably 200 million in prize pools. So maybe 1% was tipped extra,
So that'd be
That's
2
what I was
million.
thinking.
like 2 million.
Yeah, that's wild. How much do you think you've tipped lifetime? If you were to guess.
oh my god.
Not a lot. Oh,
Not
in cash,
series, just in general.
In
just your
cash
life. Yeah,
also?
Yeah.
a lot. I did this when I was playing 510. I was averaging like 10K a year in tips, and that was $1 per hand.
You counted it?
I estimated it.
Okay.
Like basically, if I was for like a 10-hour session, I was assuming that I was winning,
pots per
somewhere in the neighborhood of like 5 pots per hat,
Yeah, I
or
got
like 10 pots per hour, something like that. So I was basically paying like $10 an hour over 1,000 hours in tips.
Yeah, I kind of just want to never know how much I tip.
Of course not. You never know because you don't think about it. You just give a couple dollars every time, and then you keep
moving.
playing. You just forget.
Yeah. So like as I graduated the higher stakes, my tip average went up 5x.
Yeah.
But my hours probably went down by like 33% or 66%. So I probably played like 400 hours, tipping like $25 an hour, or $30 an hour maybe.
Gotcha.
So yeah, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10 to 20K per year over the course of 20 years. A lot.
Yeah, no, for sure.
400K maybe.
People forget about that.
It's a big tax.
Yeah, it's a lot of fucking money.
The big tax.
Wow, that's crazy. I never thought about that, like over.
Yeah, no one ever thinks about it over time because you think about it in the moment. It's like, oh, of course, like I just won like a 10K pot. Okay, $5, right? Like I win like a small pot. Okay, $1.
Adds up.
But I mean, I'm not saying I count it because I don't count shit about fuck. Like I don't do anything. Like, I don't do my. But like I just know it's a lot of money, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, of course. It's just one of those things.
Maybe I should, but that, once again, maybe I shouldn't be because it's.
No, you should be because it's acceptance of the game. Like it's just the flow of life.
I mean, I definitely have.
What does that mean? It's the flow of life.
It's the flow of life. That's what goes on.
I understand what he's saying. Like I have that mentality with money too, in the sense that it comes and goes.
It ebbs and flows.
But I
like
think
life.
that I think my eyes have been a little bit more open to scrutinizing the bigger leagues. So like with tipping, it's just whatever, man. Like showing a little bit of generosity there, not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But like having a monthly subscription to something that you haven't used in a year is just sheer and utter leaky laziness.
Yeah, I have a Hulu subscription.
Like that's a few $100s a year that like you could just be doing anything else with.
Every couple of months I go through and clear that out, and sometimes I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, why am I subscribed to this? I got a charge for like $80 the other day. I don't even know what it was. I think it might be a training thing, but
every month I get like emails like paid. I'm not gonna say how much money it is. X amount of dollars for subscriptions, and it'd be like a couple of them. And be like, why do I still have these?
I know.
Why am I doing this?
But it feels good when you go through and clear it out.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I feel like you just made a bunch of money.
Looking at him when he said it, he just like turned beet red. Like fuck, man, that's me. I have like 9 of them.
I know. I just know I have a Hulu subscription for $75 that I've had for 6 months that I had to use one time that I should have canceled and just haven't. Because I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm lazy.
There's also probably a lot of stuff that we as a group can be consolidating with subscriptions.
Oh yeah. How many of us here have a Hulu subscription?
I do.
I do.
I
Why do we
Matt
all have
Berkey's.
Hulu? I have Hulu cancel mine.
But like, we all live in the same house.
I
Of the
know.
5 of us, or 6 of us that live together, 5 of us that live together, there's probably 4 Hulu subscriptions.
Yeah, we don't need to.
There is, because Corey has one.
We all have a Spotify subscription.
Netflix.
We all have Netflix.
You can't tell them. They're going to come after us.
No, what do you mean? We're not
We
sharing.
live in the same house. It's on the TV.
Right.
No, we're the idiots, not the companies. We should be
stupid.
fleecing them. We should
Yeah,
have one
we
of
should
each.
all be sharing every
course.
subscription.
Yeah, we're paying 5x markup on the same fucking service.
Because we're lazy.
Yeah, we are lazy.
Okay, today I'm going through all my subscriptions and I'm going to say, which one of these do you guys have? I'm going to do that today after the podcast.
What we should do is consolidate everything and just create a general login.
Yes.
Right? So instead of it being like, Berkey 11 whatever with my password, it's just literally like Hamilton House.
Yeah.
Fucking bold of you to call it Hamilton House when it's going away.
Well, Landon, I'm going to let you in on a dirty little secret, buddy.
Keeping the house?
I'm not I don't intend to keep the house, but I have to tell you, I think the window has closed on me selling it for what I want to sell it for.
Which means that the house is gonna stay. We did it.
We did it.
We're staying
did
in
it,
the
yeah.
house.
Staying
in the house
for a week.
I wouldn't celebrate too much. The realtors are still working very hard, and we will still have a showing every fucking day for the next year.
We should have been tallying them. I
It's
could
over
probably
20.
just go back in the chat and Google and search showing.
It's well over 20. For
showing
sure.
Tomorrow. Showing. It is forcing me to keep my room clean.
Thank God. Your room is disgusting.
I'm a rat girl. I've always been like this.
Everybody's always like,
girl.
We know. Look at the freezer.
I can't explain to you how often I have this conversation of like, so what about Melissa? Like, I mean, it's kind of crazy. You guys live together. She's very attractive. Like, what's the deal? And I'm just like, she is disgusting.
Disgustingly amazing.
I was about to be like,
Stop
what the
it.
fuck? Because I thought it was like men who were asking about me, and you're just like, she's
No.
gross.
Oh, sorry. It is men that are asking about you, and I talk you up first, but then I frame it as to like why.
You can't tell them I'm gross. They'll find out.
It's a compliment sandwich,
Don't
man.
tell them at first. You have to.
I give them the why she's disgusting to me vantage point, and then
Great.
no. Listen, let me finish.
nice.
Wingman ever here, am I
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Look,
Why
first
she's
of all,
disgusting to
I am
me.
the best wingman.
Yeah, you are.
You'll understand. But secondly, I frame it as that I'm the weirdo. Like that I'm just intolerant.
okay.
My tolerance level is like way
Right.
too high, even though,
But
you know.
do you tell them that I like fart or like?
No. Now you're just fucking self-reporting. Like, Jesus Christ.
I don't fart. What
Right.
do you tell them?
I tell them that you have a snake and that you let it fucking crawl around in your goddamn bed.
Okay, that's fine.
And that there's like, things that I'm not willing to compromise in this life.
Yeah. That's fine.
I keep all the real dirt buried down,
Yeah.
but now you're just self-reporting. So like,
Some of the dirt's already in the room.
Yeah.
the good news for you is that there are plenty of guys who just do not care.
Don't
I
care.
know.
Like, you're pretty, so at the end of the day, you could shit in the middle of the room, and they would just be like, "Well,
Yeah, like you lie about.
I don't
True.
know.
Not
She's
true.
hot, but she shits a lot."
I don't know. I don't think I could get away with shitting on the floor.
Disagree. You want a prop bet?
I mean, you live in the house.
I
after
think
you
I can
walk
If
in.
find
you
you-
name me a good price,
Listen.
I will shit on the floor in front of a guy I find attractive.
Okay, look,
I'm saying apparently there's a market for it.
I think I can find you someone that you deem to be a solid 7 that would tolerate you taking a shit in front of him.
I can see the eyes racing right now. I saw your left eye twitch a little bit too. You're
Yeah.
like,
Wait,
because
what do you mean, like take a
7
shit in front of him? Like in the bathroom, or like walk into the house and take a shit on the floor?
In the bathroom. Let's not
in
be
the
disgusting.
bathroom. I mean, that's easy. Most guys are okay with
Okay,
that.
well, obviously it's hyperbole whenever I say that you shit in the middle of the
'Cause girls
floor.
have-
I don't
Cute
think
poop.
that's true,
No,
man.
they don't.
Yes, they do. It's cute and petite.
It's not. I've seen Scout shit. She's the smallest dog in the house. She's the only lady, and she leaves fucking dumps for days that rival any of the bigger dogs.
Yeah.
She's such a good girl.
You know why?
Why?
It's because she holds it like a lady.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like after you get back from, there's like a lot of memes. TikTok is great for like the younger people memes, but there's a lot where it's like girls will come back from hanging out with a guy for like 8 hours and then just like rip ass. So they've been holding it in the whole time.
Of course, this is your curated timeline.
Yeah.
Like, you open TikTok and that's the first thing you say is this girl just like
farting,
leaning over
yeah.
like,
Yeah. Some girl's like, I ate these protein cookies, and she's just like farting.
you and Jeno. Honestly, like, that's the sitcom that we all are just missing. You and Jen Fry
Yeah.
in a house, 24/7 cameras,
That would be good.
a
Jen's the
cartoon
fucking
stink
best.
cloud
Should have
rising.
her on
above-
someday.
I would love to have Jeno on.
She keeps asking me. She
She
texted
does.
me yesterday. She was like, "I'll come right now."
She's
going
asked
to
many
regret
times
those
to be on
words.
The
this.
thing with Jeno, is that she really knows how to turn it on.
Oh yeah.
So like when the cameras start, she's already extremely bold and
Outgoing.
She's already a 10
outgoing
on the bowl.
and
That was
disgusting
crazy.
and just like, she's just an 11 to begin with. But when the cameras roll
She
and
can
you
be a
put a
12.
mic on, she finds another level of cringe that will make your skin crawl. And honestly, like, she gets off on it.
She definitely does.
Like, I know that I've been targeted by her with specific like IG reels or Twitter posts or just imagery, the not safe for work stuff that it's never sexual in nature. It's always like 2 girls, 1 cup would be a welcomed alternative type of thing. It's like when I get a message from Jeno, am I expecting a beheading? Am I expecting a guy getting pissed
Wow,
on?
I
It could
love her.
literally be anything.
It's a
so
spectrum.
great.
She just sends me like meat reels from Instagram.
Right, she knows.
Yeah, she knows her audience.
She knows her audience.
Right.
She
Just
sends
like,
me
and I'm like, I want
absolutely
to
anything.
cook that. And I'm like, that looks great.
I get
Thank
the
you.
full gamut of like things that she actually thinks I'll find funny, like some little kid who's talking like a redneck about stealing a car, all the way to the other end of the spectrum of things that she's positive will make me squirm, like, you know, somebody birthing an alien out of their skin. And it's just like, okay, I don't want to open your DMs.
That's because
ever. I have to like hire somebody to look through Jeno's DMs and deem if it's something that I should view or not.
The real reason why you don't want her on here is because Jeno has a catalog of fucking Matt Berkey videos.
Oh, that's fine. She can't show. I mean, what's she gonna do? Walk up to the camera?
No, I mean, we'll send them to Guapo beforehand.
Yeah. You're right in the sense that I've never seen a human being attempt to document the low points of someone else's life the way Jeno does with me, and she does it with such glee.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a smile on her face. Like, I have never eaten a cookie in my adulthood without her there ready to take a photo of it.
So true.
According to her camera roll, you would think that I am this pig of a human who just lives off of dessert. But no, it's the 3 or 4 times a year that I indulge. She's there. She brought the fucking cookie, like as bait, knowing full well that I'll take it so that she can record. I'm like an animal in the wild,
what is
right?
She's just testing you, man. She's testing you.
No, it's not a test. It's not a test. She's out on a deserted island trying to get her camera food, and she leaves the bait out amongst a trap, and I'm the idiot animal that's just like, oh, look at that.
You could say she's on a desert island.
That's a bad joke.
I hate you.
That's not a dad.
That's the shirt, man. I have to say it.
Yeah, it's the shirt that brought it out of you.
I think we have to have her on, and then we'll consult. Me and Conrad will consult with her beforehand on making a compilation of like Berkey stuff, and we'll just play it on the pod when she's here.
I mean, she had that steak a day picture. That was one of the greatest pictures I've ever seen.
I mean, honestly, she has everything. It's the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my life.
Her and Danielle. They just absolutely are voyeurs.
It's funny because
my lowlights.
It's when you're like indulging in some sort of sugary food. Me, it's when I'm blacked out drunk.
Yeah,
when I'm like just like incoherent and just being so obnoxious, and then there's the camera.
Yeah, every time.
And then it's just like, do you want me to stop drinking? Is that why you keep showing me these things? Is that what's going on here?
That's the other thing, is that there's no part of either one of them that don't want me to have these like, they don't want me to be a better person. They're not doing this to shame me. They're doing this out of their own goddamn entertainment.
They enjoy it, yes.
Like, they brought the cookie to begin with because they knew what would happen. They're like, oh, the gang's getting together this Sunday. Berkey's gonna be there. I got the desserts. Don't worry.
They sound like they're doing the right thing.
Crumbles.
Yeah, it's never like one thing either. It's not like, oh, let's put some peanut M&Ms out. I know he likes those. Maybe he'll take a handful and we'll really fucking get him. No. They cover all their bases just in case, like, I'm having a moment of clarity where I can restrain and say, like, you know what? I'm not going to have the peanut M&Ms.
You can't.
That's fine, because there will also be a cheesecake and a pecan pie and a dozen crumble cookies.
And a flight of blizzards.
Did you go to for the egg toss? We did the egg toss?
Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah.
That was my 40th.
There was a charcuterie board of gummy food and candy for you.
Yeah.
They know how to get you.
That's not what I want.
I know it's not what you want.
I want boiled chicken and bone broth.
Yeah, that's not what you're getting.
No, it's not what I'm getting.
You got food like normal food for like that you didn't even eat.
They want me to be human. I don't want to be human.
Machine need fuel.
Machine need fuel. Don't give machine 87 unleaded.
Berkey's war on food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need Supreme.
You say this, but like, I've never seen anybody love dessert more than you.
That's
don't
facts.
love it.
You do.
I
love
loathe it. I just succumb to it.
No,
You
but you
love
don't
it.
have
It's
to.
my guilty
You could
pleasure.
enjoy it.
Choose to.
It's like okay to enjoy
Because
things.
like, I used to be the same way, man. I told you this. I used to put Sour Patch Kids in Sprite and then drink the
What?
Sprite Sour Patch Kids. It was amazing. It was
How
so
do you
much
have
sugar.
teeth?
My teeth are
No,
fine.
the thing is like, I know you say that it's a choice.
It is a
and
choice.
It is, but it's a bending of willpower, and that's why they enjoy it so much. Because I'm so diligent and dedicated most of the time.
He's such a
You're so
pat on
humble,
the back.
too.
You know
So
what it is?
humble.
It's because you preach about nutrition and they like to catch you slipping.
Yeah.
I don't preach
It's not
it.
because he's so disciplined.
Right.
Yeah, well,
Or maybe
let's watch him break his discipline
Or maybe
for
he
our
slips
pleasure.
more than he leads
Yes,
on.
exactly.
But I don't.
leave,
That's the
right.
thing, is that I
People leave.
literally don't. I mostly consume fucking
maybe we'll
watered
start
down
buying
meats
it.
and bone broth and nonsense. And it's
No
they
one
just
in the studio
know.
was buying it. I saw you demolish an entire pack of Oreos.
Yeah, that was a Jenna moment. It was a fucking trap. It was just sitting there
Actually,
for days.
Nicole bought those when she stayed.
Yeah, and then she just left them there for days.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
these moments, so they're adding up
Yeah,
a
you
lot,
know,
huh?
they add up.
One moment at a time. It works every time.
Maybe
the
it's
same-
almost as if allowing yourself to have a couple Oreos every now and then
No,
would lead
no.
to
That's not how it
less
works. And it's also
entire package.
it's not how Landon
eatings.
works either. It's I consume what is there. If it's never there, I'll never have it. But if you bring a pack of Oreos, I'm not going to have one.
I was the same.
I'm going to have
I
the pack.
understand that.
I was the same.
I'm-
No, I won't eat the. I won't eat the garbage though.
What do you mean?
I won't eat the garbage. Like if there's Oreos there, I won't eat them.
Yet.
No.
Yet.
I don't think you would. Yeah.
No.
He's
I
been
don't.
really-
No, but you will
he
eat an
doesn't eat
entire
anything.
5,000 calorie pack of macadamias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because macadamia nuts are good for me.
Right.
I'm just saying you're not to
Nature's candy.
you're not to the point yet where you will succumb to this, but you will get to a point where you've reached like you feel like you are you feel like you deserve a reward. Is
I
what
will
it
not
is.
become you.
I don't know what that means.
I will not be you in this.
Nobody's
The
perfect.
hot Cheetos puffs.
Not feeling it. It's like those I would fucking fiend for as a kid.
Yummy.
Because they're so fucking good. But now it's like, you know what? I have a goal I would like to achieve, and these directly impact my goal.
Yeah.
So
I have a
That's
goal
what
I
I'm
would
saying.
like
So
to
what I'm
achieve,
saying
too.
is that eventually you'll get close enough to your goal where you'll have a moment and say like, "What's an Oreo gonna do to me?" And then the next thing you know, the pack is gone. And you know how you'll rationalize it? You'll say, "Okay,
It won't be here again.
that also is
It's like
true."
me and alcohol.
But also, you'll just say like,
an addict.
"I won't eat any other calories today."
Is this
okay,
addiction?
that's an
This is addiction.
eating disorder.
It's not an eating disorder. If you eat
Here we go
3,000
again.
calories worth of Oreos, you should not eat other food that day.
Melissa's war on Berkey's eating disorder and Berkey's war on food.
I don't know what
Those
it
are the
means.
two recurring themes of the.
I don't listen.
We love you, Matt.
You're
I just want
gaslighting.
you to enjoy your life.
I don't. The thing is, do you think I enjoy?
I love that for
eating-
you.
Do you think I enjoy those days where I eat a pack of Oreos?
Yes.
I
No.
think
While
you
you're eating
don't
them,
because
yes.
you
No, I'm a
are
slave
so
to my
mean
brain.
to yourself. And
I'm a
when
slave
you
to
do
I'm
my
a
brain.
complete slave to
it.
the
You can have a little
chemicals.
snack,
Yeah.
Well, that's like saying you could have a little drink.
right? But you're not. Are you addicted? So you are a sugar addict. You mean you have a problem?
Perhaps. I mean, I cannot.
No, you don't.
I
You're a
can't eat
sugar
one
addict.
Oreo.
You could. I've seen you not. You cannot eat sugar.
I don't do a very good job.
maybe
of,
you
I don't
have a
keep it
bit of-
around because I'm more likely to consume.
I think we're getting somewhere with Berkey.
Yeah,
I think we're
so.
getting somewhere.
I'm glad
the
you don't
first
do
step is
drugs,
admitting
then.
that you have a problem.
Are you a
Well, I think
sugar
this is
addict?
very well.
Are you a sugar?
I think it's twofold. I think one, in the short term, there isn't a whole lot of downside to over consuming something like sugar, right? It's the consistency of it that brings the big downside.
I mean, I feel terrible after I eat.
Yeah, for that day.
For a few days, I'm inflamed.
And that's my point. When you say I want you to enjoy, it's like I know I don't enjoy it.
Yeah,
I'm just giving in to these carnal urges.
but maybe
of,
if you like didn't guilt yourself so hard, you wouldn't keep demolishing them.
I have no guilt over the days that I demolish it. I have physical disgust because I feel like I want to die. But I know that like starting the next day, I'll reset. I'll drink bone broth. I'll go to the gym.
Okay, so
and, like,
why-
I'm not gonna have any physical. Like I don't have dysmorphia. I don't think that like I eat a pack of Oreos and somehow turn into this fat slob.
Okay, so why, when it's there, can you not just let it be?
Just can't.
Yes, you can. That's the
I
lack
mean,
of discipline.
yes, I could.
Yes, you enjoy it. You enjoy being human.
No, I don't enjoy being human.
I
I permit myself to be human.
Then you wouldn't do it.
What is going on?
Because here's my thing:
This
if
is the root of all of it. Is I
No,
don't
it-
enjoy being human.
Stop. It was in the
human.
context of how he was using it.
no, but because if you know that you can have the discipline to not do it, and if it's there, you don't need to have it, yet you do it anyways. Why?
Because there's an immediate sense of gratification to
Yeah,
it.
it's dopamine.
Yeah. Like if you put a McDonald's burger in front of me, I would never eat it.
Yeah.
But it's because I have no immediate sense of gratification when I do.
Right.
Like it's just instant regret.
well, sugar's a drug.
Exactly.
One Christmas, Berkey ate an entire tray of sticky buns.
Oh my
And then-
god.
The
And
sticky
then,
bun bandit.
said to Michelle, he's like, I think I'm in sugar shock. He's like, what do I do?
It is impressive,
he
like,
was
the quantity of
genuine
sugar.
concern for his own
Yeah.
well-being.
I very much have the mindset of like, once you cheat, do it.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like
don't
the
fuck
quantity
around.
that you are
Right.
able to
0 to
consume of
100, right?
sugar is like
once you
impressive.
cheat,
The Rock does this with his cheat days. Like, he doesn't fuck
Oh,
around.
I've seen
Oh,
that.
so you're the
yeah.
Rock now.
No, he
No.
does. He does. He'll have like a whole stack of like pancakes with
Yeah.
like syrup all over it.
Yeah, and that's like the warm-up.
donuts and everything.
Yeah, that's like the warm-up.
Yeah.
He has like a 5-course meal of trash.
Yeah.
So then why don't you have the Rock type of situation where you
cheat
have your
day?
one cheat day and you go hard and that's your day?
You saw why.
Because you turned fat.
No, that was one
That was
steak a day. Yeah,
Well, I'm not on TRT,
God.
so I don't have the
amazing.
luxury of.
you're not on
Is,
TRT
is this
yet.
a Rock mukbang?
Rock
Look how
French
good that
toast.
French toast looks, though.
Dude, he's so
What's
strong.
with the? It doesn't look good. It's not sliced.
It looks amazing.
It's not
He is a big
It's
man.
not
He doesn't.
sliced.
What does that matter?
He's
Is it
huge.
not
He doesn't need
sliced
to
or is it
slice
just
it.
shacked up?
sliced.
He's
It's
gonna eat it like a
sliced.
burger.
They're not sliced. They're just
It's
straight
not
up bread.
sliced, right?
No, it's
Is
not
this not just
sliced.
a deep fried, unsliced loaf of bread?
It's literally no. Their individual
That looks
pieces are sliced
disgusting.
for sure. No, the pieces are sliced. It's not just loaf of bread.
It was literally a loaf.
That
No.
was 2 loaves that were unsliced and battered, and that's disgusting. It's not
Anyways,
gonna be
Matt,
good.
why don't you have that be your day? One day a week, you get to have a The Rock situation.
Because I'm not on TRT.
Not yet, you're not. But if you can be,
No,
you
I
would
don't.
be.
I could be, and I
He
don't
could
want
be.
to be.
Why not?
Because I want my body to continue to naturally produce testosterone.
But what if you could eat like The Rock?
I don't want it to, that's
I mean,
that's the thing. I think you
that
think it's
there's
desirable
different
to eat
ways
that
of
way.
doing it, and there's different genetics and everything. Like my brother eats like crumble cookies like twice a week or something, and he loves sugary stuff, and he doesn't eat like healthy, but he's like shredded. So
Yeah, I think what
Yeah,
I think
how
the
does this all
clear
work?
line that I'm trying to delineate between is that this is not emotional. So
What is
that
it?
you
I-
don't have an eating disorder. It's a
I don't have a love for these type of food. I don't have a want or desire or enjoyment out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It is more so a
self-soothing.
No.
it's a
finish this.
temptation,
Okay.
right? Like the crumble cookie is the temptress. And if it's there at noon, I
Yeah.
can pass.
Right.
If it's still there at 3 p.m., I can eat a good meal instead
right. But
and
you
ignore
know,
it.
you have a bad session. You
When
come
9:45
back,
rolls around,
pickleball's been making you mad.
right? When 9:45 rolls around, it's just like, it's late night, you're a little horny, and suddenly somebody that you wouldn't ever consider talking to at noon gets that.
Yeah.
What are you
You're the
doing?
one
We've all
you
been
doing,
there.
yeah.
What are you doing? Text. Yeah, that's crumble cookie to me.
No, it's
9:45. What are you doing?
I
I'm about to eat a
don't
dozen.
believe you, man. I just don't believe. I don't believe this.
Why?
What do you
'Cause
think
I
it
know,
is?
I know you could do without it. And
I
you
could,
know
yes,
you
you're
could do
right.
without it.
I know I can't.
And
what
you're
do you
not
think it's
actively
about?
trying. Like he doesn't actively bring food into the house, right?
Right.
That's
There's no
actively
su-
trying.
There's no sugar in the house. But like, if there was no sugar, if there was crumble cookies in the house and you didn't know it existed, you would have no feelings for it.
Here's the thing. It would have to be one of two things. Either I just completely never have it in the house and therefore never cheat, or it's there every single day. And I go through a phase of
Eating it all until you're
eating it
disgusted.
until I'm disgusted, and then eventually come full circle and just say like, okay, I just won't touch it again.
Forever, or just until you get
Probably
horny
forever,
again
'cause,
at
like-
9:45.
No,
and
I
you
mean
crumble
probably
cookies
like
again.
probably forever, at least for that specific thing. Like when it comes to like McDonald's, I would just literally never eat McDonald's again.
Is that what we
like there was a
me.
phase-
Well, that's literally what happened when I was drinking. And there were
Yeah.
certain alcohols I wouldn't drink.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was a phase where I consumed fast food for a lot.
Really? I didn't
But
know.
like I would just never, ever, ever indulge in it again because I don't ever think I would be that hungry.
Wow, for his own benefit, I'm gonna order crumble cookies to the house every day and
We used
just
to get
watch
them
you
nearly
descend.
every day.
Yeah.
I
There
used to
was
get
a
so many twisted
There was
sugar
a
cookies.
stint that we were getting cookies.
And it happened
almost
to
every day.
coincide with when I was bulking. So I had no
so you-
qualms whatsoever
some good
about
ones,
indulging.
yeah.
It was like, oh, I'll go
That
play
was, like,
pickleball
in
for 5
fall.
hours and then just come home and crush whatever Landon left over.
Yeah, I remember
you
we,
thought I left stuff over?
Well,
we would eat cookies
I got to it before
and
you, I
mint
guess.
NFTs. That was a good time.
yeah.
Dude, oh
Everyone
my
was
god.
rich.
Everyone
I
was
miss
rich.
it.
I remember every day I'd be like, "Oh, Melissa, cookie time," and you're like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
cookies."
I know.
I'm so
That was
hungry
nice.
right now.
No, I'm not hungry. I can't eat that stuff. Not anymore. I can see my veins. I can
I'm
see my veins
noticing
now.
as I'm getting older and more
Wiser.
mature.
So less cookies.
I am noticing that I feel the effects of what I consume more. As
I've
I'm
never
drinking
drank.
A Red Bull and
I've never
I had
drank.
some-
As you
Yeah,
drink
this was my
Red Bull and Cheetos
breakfast, but
puffs.
like I notice, especially with sugar, like I feel the inflammation and I feel the sluggishness and the mood. Like, you know, it just, I don't like the effects it has.
I've never drank, but I can only assume the way that I feel after a day of pounding sugar is akin to a hangover.
It is very similar. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's less extreme, but you feel hungover.
I don't know. I feel worse like the day after something like that than I do when I get the flu.
Is it like the way you feel when you eat?
Way worse. Like
you
head
feel
pounding.
So cloudy too and dehydrated.
Super cloudy, super dehydrated, but like headache to an incapacitated degree.
Yeah.
Where like I just can't get out of bed.
Wild.
Is that how you feel
I
when
can't
you,
believe how many kids eat so much sugar every day. Like I grew up eating like so much sugar.
They start the day off.
I literally, my mom would put a tasty cake. Okay, this is like Philly thing. I don't think tasty cakes are like known everywhere.
I know what they are.
Tasty cakes?
Yeah.
It's like a brand, right? I think.
Yeah, so she would put a tasty cake in the toaster oven, and that was my breakfast.
Yeah, I mean,
every day with lemonade.
breakfast foods outside of
lemonade.
How did I not feel like shit every day?
Because you're a kid.
I was a
You
kid.
don't know any. You're just used to it. Right?
No, you probably did feel like shit. You probably wanted to nap by 10 a.m. You weren't paying attention
I
in
was
school.
cranky all the time.
Yeah, you were miserable.
You
I was
felt like
cranky.
shit differently.
Yeah, I just didn't know what it felt like to feel good.
Everything commercialized towards breakfast food is like so high in sugar, even to the degree of like the healthy stuff. Like fruit is pushed so heavily in the morning, and like
I know.
Even coffee and like the things that are so supposed to stimulate you and start your day.
Acai bowls are huge in like the LA like healthy people scene. Those are so much
I
sugar.
remember.
Yeah,
I
yogurt.
went to the juice store. I went to the juice store with a friend. And that store, it's like, oh, like these are these things, they're good for you. There's juice cleanses, this, that, whatever. And I would like read the back of them, like, you know, there's just like infinite sugar in this. And it's like, no, it's healthy, it's fine.
I'll end on this because we've been ranting a little bit too long about this.
I can't fucking take the sugary garbage.
When I lived with Brian and Brent Hanks, when we first moved out here, the Master Cleanse was gaining popularity.
What is that?
Okay, so Brent did it, and like, he thought he was changing his life. Now, this was a kid, mind you, who like would smoke 6 bowls a day.
This is Hanks 11.
He was literally living off of like coffee and donuts, and weed.
So he wanted to get his mind right.
That was his lifeblood. So
Other than the donuts, nothing is wrong here.
he decides that today's the day. This Master Cleanse is the end-all, be-all to fixing your health. And I was very passionate about fitness and nutrition at that point. I was doing a lot of research. Granted, I was very biased in my researching, so like I didn't know a ton, but I knew a fair amount about like how metabolism worked, how the body worked, and shit like that. So the Master Cleanse, well, I don't know if there's anything you can find on the internet about it, but I'll explain it as best I can. The Master Cleanse was this mix of lemon water, cayenne pepper, and maple syrup.
What the fuck?
Now they sold it to you in like a pre-packaged thing where it was already like portioned out for you.
Is it a powder or is it a drink?
It was a drink, but here's the twist. The way that they advertised it and sold it to the consumer was through this infographic. There was a commercial for it. If you can find the video, Guapo, God bless you. But it would show a cartoon of them drinking the Master Cleanse, right? And it would highlight the maple syrup in the drink and have it sticking to like your esophagus and the lining of your stomach and all the other stuff. And it would have it like picking up this black stuff.
Right, like clean out the garbage.
Cleansing you out.
Yes, they were implying
that
somehow
the syrup is good for you.
that you were filled to the brim with bile and that the syrup would stick to it.
You left out a very important part.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
So before you do all that, you take the drink. You drank this
Salt water.
saltwater solution thing. Like, it was literally just salt water.
It was just a laxative.
It would literally just clean you right out.
Right, you just shit for like the first.
You would drink this, and it would come out the other side very quickly, very fast.
Yeah, you would just shit for like 36 hours as a part of the cleanse, and then and now the syrup would pick up the remnants of all the toxins in your body.
It's so ridiculous.
Right, you're disgusted.
And I'm just like losing my fucking mind. I'm like, Brent, you're poisoning yourself with salt water. That's why you're shitting yourself. You're literally dehydrating yourself. and drinking a laxative. That's all that's happening. And then the way for you to refuel is to consume lemon and sugar for a 2-week stretch.
Wait, I don't think it was 2 weeks.
Wait, did he
It was
like
5
complete
days,
it?
but still.
I don't remember.
Of course he
Lamanna did it
completed
too.
No.
And this is when he believed in the secret.
This is what?
When he believed in the secret. He was
secret,
watching
yeah.
it routinely.
You did this too?
What?
You did this?
No. I maybe started it, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm not gonna do it. Lasted like
This is
half a
silly. I'm
day.
going to get high.
Yeah, like
What
half a
about
day.
B. Hanks 11?
I don't
Him and
think,
Garrity
I
for
think
sure
he went
did it.
like I think he went like 3 days, and then was just like, this is like couldn't do it. It was just like, this is dumb.
It feels almost like a torture.
like-
it's like a punishment to do
Yeah.
this challenge.
And like
whoever
whoever
designed this is sadistic.
Whoever designed it made so much money.
Yeah.
People are so fucking
People
desperate.
are still doing it.
Yeah.
Well,
People are so desperate to just be told, like, this is the 1, 2, 3 step to getting
The
life
instant
in order.
Easy
fix. People
fix.
want you the easy fix.
They want
It's so
hacks.
easy to sell.
They want
Yeah.
That's
nothing
why
but hacks.
these diet fads are so popular, and it's just like
There's always
here's the
new
easy
ones,
fix.
right?
Do this, this, and this, and it'll be easy, and you'll
You don't have to
lose
do
weight
any
and be healthy, and
exercise.
it's
You could
like-
just sit there and your fat will melt off.
Somebody in the chat said they're making fun of a lemon and hot water cleanse they do not understand. It's more like a diet thing to reset your body metabolism. Trust me,
There we
man.
go.
This is a different thing.
I fucking
go.
understand it.
Yeah, it's
I
different than
completely
fasting, right?
understand it. The lemon is supposed to be full of antioxidants. The hot water is easier to digest, therefore your metabolism operates a little bit faster. Yeah, fine.
Where's
If you
the
want to
maple
do
syrup?
that, if you want to do that during an extended fast of like 24 hours to 72 hours, God bless you. I agree. That's a way to reduce inflammation. When you start consuming maple syrup on the idea that somehow this is a healthy endeavor,
Maple
or the
syrup's
cayenne
good for
pepper,
me.
or the saltwater cleanse, like, stop it. Don't tell me I don't understand what's going on. Like, I know full and well what's going on. This stuff is all bullshit. The salt water is literally an at-home laxative that you're consuming. You're legitimately reaching small levels of toxicity. That's why you're blasting it out of your ass. And then you ultimately become dehydrated, which is why you have to consume so much lemon water to begin with. None of it is doing what it's supposed to do. Okay? Like, this is not more than a couple Google searches away. But when you see a fucking infomercial with these shredded guys that tell you that that's how they got there, people are duped easily, you know? I put a tweet out yesterday that said, the biggest lesson I learned between my 20s and 30s is the difference between a hack and an optimization process. The former is always sold as an end result
Yeah.
to make the uninitiated feel smart.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, oh, this is easy. All you have to do is do this, and you're good.
Always. It's always like, here's a trade secret
Right.
that nobody else cares about or no one else is paying attention to. You'll be the genius in your group if you follow these 3 steps, right? It's always some bullshit to take a shortcut and skip the entire process in between. Optimization is always focused on the process. It's never about the end goal. It's more so about just saying, like, here's a way to optimally live in a manner that will get you a little bit closer each and every day.
Right.
What,
It's not
Conrad?
about the.
I saw
you
on that
finish this
tweet,
now.
there was a comment from
Oh,
Arlang. He
here we
wants
go.
to know.
He thinks it's so funny because it's such a Conrad comment.
I mean, no, it's not, because his sentence is actually coherent.
what did you
that's true.
learn? What did you learn between your 40s and 50s?
I learned not to fold top pair to less than a big blind. Okay? That's what I fucking learned.
Sorry, Ryan. I didn't mean to set you up
I
for
learned
that
not to
shit.
make a 7-figure mistake.
I didn't mean to
facing
set you
half
up
a
for
big
that
blind
shit,
bet.
Ryan.
Yo,
The guy's 50. He's mad.
Okay.
He's balding right now. Look at him. My
He's not
God.
balding.
I mean, like, what are we
Jeez.
talking about here? What are we even talking about? Like, I've never seen somebody able to derail a conversation better
It's
than
always
this guy.
Twitter too.
Well,
Just because
I
he's
was on the
literally
it was
sitting there
the
on
screen. I
Twitter.
couldn't help myself.
At least he got that sentence out correctly.
That is true.
Yesterday he
I
had a
got it.
problem. Yesterday
I
was
pushed it
new.
out.
He
Today,
no, he memorized it. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
He was so happy
How many
about
times
it.
do you look at that sentence before saying it?
It was twice. I looked back. I looked once and I looked back. I was like, make sure.
It also
make sure.
wasn't hard for him to remember because it honestly looked like something he could have tweeted minus the spelling errors.
No, you mean the spelling corrections?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
like,
sure,
there were
yeah,
no
yeah,
spelling
right.
errors.
Same thing.
Yeah.
It was like
Sure,
a
I would
coherent
definitely
Conrad
tweet
came
that.
into the chat for a moment and really gave us his thoughts.
Yeah.
All right. We're back tomorrow. It'll be all poker. We're going to have Espen and Henry Kilbane here to discuss the main event, what's next for the champ.
How to win the main event.
How to win. Yeah, he has a how
He's
to.
going to give you a hack.
Hey, here's a hack
on how to
on
win,
how
the
to
main
win
event.
the World Series of Poker main event.
Espen's in shape. You think he did the master cleanse to win the main?
That's going to be tomorrow's headline. 7 easy steps to winning the World Series main event.
Wait, how many days is the main? Is it
That's
8
too
or
many
is it
steps.
8?
That is too many
No,
steps. You're right.
It's one step. It's
One
just
step.
when you're all in for your life, don't lose the hand.
That's 2 steps.
That's
Well, it's actually a redundant step. It's step 1A and B.
Okay. It works.
That's Conrad's version of 1 step.
yeah. That was a Conrad guide to the galaxy.
Yeah.
It's true, guys.
When you're all in. And hey, don't lose your all in either.
No, I said
Obvious.
when you're all in. When
Well,
you're all in.
I don't do that. I win my all in and then don't lose my all in either.
Right. You can lose all ins, like just not for your life.
Right. Yeah, no, that's reasonable. So yeah, we'll have a deep dive with the champ. We'll talk about his routine, all of the life hacks that he employs to get in such great regimented shape, and
Saunas and smoothies.
yeah, now he's rich. Also, before I forget, we still have 4 seats available for September's Poker Out Loud Academy. That is September 8th to the 11th. August is already sold out. We'll be running that, I think, 3 weeks from now. The 16th to the 19th, if I recall.
Yep.
So if you guys are interested in attending one of these, head to academy.solveforwhy.io. If you want to learn more, there's information there. If you just want to check out what the gameplay actually looks like, you can sign up for a free account, free roll access at Academy, at solveforwhy.io. We have the previous Poker Out Loud Academy footage up there, as well as years past Academy footage, where we were just doing commentary over top. So be sure to check that out. We'll be back at, let's call it 12:15 tomorrow. We've been pretty consistent at that time frame.
I like 12:15 because it's really close to 12 and really also on the same side as 12:30. It's
Yeah.
a nice little hedge.
You know
If
what it does?
If you say 12, it scares people when it's 12:30.
Right, exactly. So when we say 12:15, we could start at noon, we could start at 12:15, or we could start at 12:30.
Exactly.
We'll see
And
you guys at
everybody
1
will accept
tomorrow.
all 3 of those.
Exactly.
Right? When you say noon and you start a minute past, you're fucking late.
We're just trying to keep you guys happy, man.
That's right. We're here
Tough
for the
job.
people. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Later.
Peace.